In the wake of the George Zimmerman verdict, the words of Rodney King ring in our ears. Can we all get along? The difference is that when King asked that question 2 decades ago, we focused on the get along part. Now, in the wake of the Zimmerman verdict, we must focus on can. Can we all get along? America has now made about the most powerful statement possible in renouncing the most shameful elements of our history. We elected a black man, and one with scant political experience no less, to the most powerful position in the world. And then we re-elected him when even many of his most devout followers admitted to real disappointment in his first term. Nevertheless, the professional race baiters, with the aid and comfort of a cowardly and craven mainstream media, want us to remain frozen in time, convincing us that little has changed since the days of slavery and Jim Crow. And so they continue to do what they do so well: turn people against each other. But anger among African Americans following the verdict was not just ginned up, and therein lies the problem. If, even in the wake of the ascension of Barack Obama, black people view America as a racist nation as opposed to a nation containing racists, and that's a huge difference, what hope have we for genuine racial reconciliation? Well, the answer is that it'll never happen when the Department of Justice ignores the verdict of an impartial jury and conducts a race-based campaign to take down an exonerated man. And it will never happen when the likes of Al Sharpton continue to prowl around like lions looking for something to devour. Consider the tactics used, the damage wrought, and the potential future consequences of the actions of the race hustlers and those bowing to them before, during, and after the Zimmerman trial. Grandstanding Special Prosecutor Angela Corey short-circuited the obvious move of impaneling a grand jury and made a show of pressing unsustainable second-degree murder charges. And after the case, she described the exonerated defendant as a murderer. Even more despicable was the invention of a new demographic entity, white Hispanic. The New York Times and its Amen chorus, faced with the undesirable prospect of having to pick between two groups it dares not ever criticize, invented this term specifically to turn the story into a battle between the races. The media profile of Trayvon Martin was nothing less than a gross distortion of the truth. We were bombarded with a constant image of Trayvon as an innocent-looking 12-year-old boy. No mention of the 17-year-old's history of fights, suspensions, drug use, truancy, or abiding defiance and lawlessness. And the converse, portraying Zimmerman as a racist vigilante when he was anything but that. How are we to even remotely trust a media willing to grossly distort both the victim's and perpetrator's character at the cost of tearing the country apart? And now a bedrock principle of our justice system, no double jeopardy, is under assault by a Justice Department hunting for any basis to take down an exonerated defendant. There are times that make us particularly proud to be American. One of those times was last Saturday night when a seemingly just verdict was handed down by an impartial jury in a very difficult and racially charged case. And the great majority of Trayvon's supporters robustly exercised their First Amendment rights of free speech and peaceable assembly. But it seems that it may have been nothing more than a quick high followed by a morning hangover when the purveyors of division and hate amped up their divisive drumbeat. Even in the wake of a 2-term black president, whether we can all get along is sadly still very much an open question.